Facebook. Ah, okay. She officiated our vows and even wrote our vows. So fun. Wow, what the hell? What a relationship to have. Well, that's pretty cool. Fun fact of the day. A viewer here knows Ronda Rousey.
Warcraft's development team size has just...
Let me pause the music before I start this. And by the way, this is pretty cool. Actually, before we start this, I did want to talk about this. Because the World of Warcraft Twitter tweeted this out yesterday. I don't even know how to say this number, honestly. It's 80 followed by a ton of zeros. For the number of DRACTHYR customizations that there are. And this is crazy. I mean, it looks like there's a million different ways to customize these guys. Not just color. I mean, if at first glance, you'll look at this and say, oh, it's just different colors. But it's not. Their body types are a little bit different. Some are huskier than others. The horns on their beards are a little bit different. The horns on their heads. The shapes of their heads. This one has like a pointy beak compared to the rest. There's so many different things here. So basically, I mean, looking at the DRACTHYR, in theory, no two DRACTHYR in the game should be exactly the same. You can literally customize your DRACTHYR to a point where you are so unique that nobody else can look like you. Now, like, you can look at two DRACTHYR and say they look alike, but there's so many different things that you could customize on these guys. It's basically that no two. I mean, look at this little neck gobble thing. Look at the difference. There's even a differences in the neck, the little neck webbing. Every single one of these is completely different from the other, which is crazy to me that there's that much, because World of Warcraft was never a game that was really known for customization, right? It was never a game that had the best character creation, I would say. But this is like a whole new level of custom. Oh, look at this guy. He's got 4 horns. 2 long ones here and 2 top boys. That's crazy. Yeah, so many variations. I want a real dragon, don't we all? Yeah. Tails are even different. Wow, I didn't even see that. I wish all toons were that customizable. I agree. Now, they've added a lot, you know, like humans now can look like different, right? The blood elves can look different. But, like, nowhere near this level of detail and customization. I mean, the eye colors, the horns, the webbing. Look at this guy. This guy's got spikes on his head. This guy's got, like, some kind of furry thing on the back of his head. Like I said, basically, at this point, no two DRACTHYR will be exactly alike, which is really cool, and it brings more immersion into the game when you have that level of detail in the characters. Question: do we turn into a mount too? Like, can we fly as a dragon? I believe DRACTHYR will be able to fly. I do. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think they'll be able to fly. Much like Worgens can just mount up and run, DRACTHYR will have the ability to fly. Imagine adding more customization on already existing races. I'll be spending a lot of time making that dragon. Yeah, I think everybody will play the Let's Make a Dragon game for a while. I mean, again, there's like just a high level of customization here. That's just look at these 3. The shapes of the snouts are different. Like these look very different, and it's not just like male versus female. Like this is different across the board. Look at this snout. That one's like pokey compared. I mean, Worgen should have gotten something like this because they have snouts as well. But this level of detail hasn't been seen in the game at all prior to now. Hold on, I exited this shit. I gotta exit this. Yeah, so again, the new DRACTHYR race provides a variety of features and customizations to your character, including horns, options, a diverse palette of colors to choose from, and more. In this preview, we show off more of the choices to fully express your DRACTHYR form. One thing that was very different, look at even the differences in the colors of the claws. Choose from a variety of options for the DRACTHYR, including horns, scales, snouts, and eyes. Yeah, I was saying, look at the claws. I mean, you can even pick I guess the colors of your horns and stuff, and it'll affect the colors of your claws and everything. I'm not gonna lie, like, I was not very excited about making a DRACTHYR, but these guys are starting to look badass. Look at the broken horn. I do wish one thing about the Dracthyr, that their heads were a little bit bigger in proportion to their body. So like this guy clearly has the beefy boy arms, right? Like he's more fleshed out in terms of muscle. But I feel like the head should have been bigger. That's my only gripe with the Dracthyr. I feel like they have small heads compared to their bodies. I did pre-order the epic one, so excited. Oh, damn. Yeah, I got the same thing. But, and look at this guy, he doesn't even have pupils. But in terms of body, that is one thing that people were concerned about, because when the Dracthyr were first revealed, the body types, right, there only was one. There was the very skinny boy. And now it's looking like there's going to be more. And here's some of the Dracthyr in armor. Now, one thing I've been concerned about personally is, like, again, what are the... Because the Dracthyr have such a unique body skeleton. What the hell is armor going to look like on them? Well, this armor looks badass. These helms look cool. All of this stuff looks very cool. I really like that. Look at this. They have piercings on the wings. This person has piercings on the wings. This is a badass look. The helm, the way the helm drapes over the head, the horns come out. These helms specifically look like they're built for Dracthyr, right? And you know what I'm wondering about this? You know, everyone gets like armor sets. Like there's racial armor sets. These look like armor sets based on the type of dragon. Like here's the red, the blue, the black, the green, and I don't know, I guess this wouldn't be yellow, but this is the time, you know. The time walking dragons. But anyways, the armor sets I think look pretty cool, especially this red one with the leg plates and stuff. All of this looks really badass, and it looks a lot better than I thought it was going to look, personally. Because I was worried about what the hell Dracthyr would look like with armor on. Now, I still don't know if you take like a... I want to see a picture of like a vanilla helm. You know, like just that classic Warcraft helm with the human one. And see what it looks like on a Dracthyr head. Because I have no idea what that's going to look like. Not sure. The one on the left looks like a paladin set. It does kind of look like a paladin set. It also reminds me of the Blood Elf heritage armor set as well. It's got a lot of look that reminds me of that. But I'm wondering, like, would these be a heritage armor sets based on the different dragons? I don't know. It looks pretty cool. All of this looks really cool. It doesn't say, I think, where. Embrace individual range of expressive colors. Wear your armor with pride. So I don't know. Maybe. And then this video basically shows you like the differences in the body types. So you have the skinny boy, a little bit more beefy. This guy lifts but doesn't lift all the time, and then this guy lifts every day. You can see like the difference. It doesn't just go across the major difference is in the arms, but you can see the chest gets a bit broader too. And it fills out in the hips a little bit more too. Oh, and the legs. The legs get beefier too. So this is the most beefy dragon you could have. And that's good because, again, one thing we saw in the preview was we only got the skinny guy. We had the skinny version, and everyone was worried about what the hell that would look like. Whereas now we've seen that, no, you can definitely have a more beefy looking version of these dragons. Have you killed any heroic yet, friend? Bunny Hunter, I have not. Not this week. I mean, we've killed heroic. I've fully cleared heroic, but we haven't killed any this week. I wonder if creating Dracthyr will open the door for other unique shaped races like Sethic, Sabaran, and Naga. I mean, this skeleton now is in game, right? So I definitely think that they could use this skeleton. For one, it reminds me of Dreadlords. Now I don't think we're going to get playable Dreadlords. But looking at these skeletons... Oh, I got to change this. Can't have this. Looking at these skeletons specifically, I think, yeah, there's other races that you can bring in and just, like, you know, lay them over the skeleton. Anytime a new skeleton gets introduced into the game, you open... Oh. Oh, God. Are we back? I think we're back. Yeah, the internet's not having it. Internet is not having. We are back. Yeah, good. Good. I have to get back into the game. Yeah, I was saying, what the hell was I talking about just now? Internet cutting out fucking tripped me out. But, yeah, we're gonna watch some more Bellular content and see what that's all about. More news, more WoW news. Like the stuff about the next season starting very soon. And if the group hasn't filled by then... Oh, great, the group delisted. If the group hasn't filled by then... it's still here. Then we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still here, just logging to save my flask. Eddie, you're good, you're good. Yeah. We'll see. It'll be really hard, I think, because anyone who wanted to do Mythic this week has already done it. But let's see what happens. Anyways, we'll check out the Bellular content here about some incredible WoW news about Dragonflight and stuff.
Increased significantly. Season 4 has got a release date. We've got drama and developments in Wrath Classic, plus a whole bunch more, because it really has been quite a week for World of Warcraft, one that has seen Blizzard actually make some significant moves towards the game's long-term future. Actually feels pretty good to be able to say that. So, actually, awesome stuff today. And if you'd like to support the team that makes all this stuff happen, who, in fact, the game team are literally through that while playing D&D right now, you can check out some of the cool loot that they've made over, of course, on
cool place to work.
That's what they do when they're not doing work on the Pale Beyond. Or the other thing. Some of you might be cluing on soon to what the other thing is, but I'm just going to be a bit
Pale Beyond Mobile
for a little while yet, maybe 6 to 9 months. Oh, 9, it's not a baby. Okay, before this weird self-promo gets too loopy, let's talk about Spellbreak.
Yeah, little news here. Blizzard bought another studio just to work on World of Warcraft, and that just goes to the thing that I always tell people: Microsoft / Blizzard are never gonna let WoW die. If they can keep fighting the good fight and keeping the game alive, they will. Why? Because it is an IP that makes money. It's a moneymaker. Whether people are playing it or not, the people who played World of Warcraft, right, when this game peaked like at 15, 16 million players, they were forever imprinted on their hearts to have World of Warcraft in it, right? Like they love WoW, and if WoW ever becomes great again in their eyes, they will come back. So there is a huge player base out there that wants this game to be good, and I think Microsoft's going to make sure that it is.
Okay, Blizzard have acquired a whole other studio.
What's up, Russ? Please,
and they've done it explicitly to work in World of Warcraft. Kind of crazy, right? So that actually brings 100 staff to the World of Warcraft development team, and thanks to Matt's tireless breakdown of the Shadowlands credits, a kind of 15 to 20% increase to the core Warcraft development team size. Though, I should note that 500 is probably a bit out of date anyway, because Blizzard have been expanding the Warcraft team, like they just have been, supposedly beyond their replacement rate. So
normal rate was good fun. It was.
Now,
sure.
what's
The
even better
was nice.
is the studio they've acquired, Proletariat, are a mix of MMO vets from Turbine. They've also got founding people from Harmonix and Insomniac, but they very much have got an eye toward MMOs, live games, and fantasy.
Nice.
Well, WoW ticks all those boxes. Now, what's led to this is actually kind of sad. So they made a game called Spellbreak, and it basically just didn't catch on. Now, the game itself is actually pretty damn great. It's got an 85 in Steam, highly rated elsewhere. 10 million players have actually sort of been through it. But the problem, of course, with a lot of these games is getting people to stick around and actually having a viable business model. So the game, Spellbreak, is a fantasy battle royale.
It looks like Wizard Fortnite. This game, yeah, that's what it reminds me of, like a Wizard Fortnite. They're shooting fireballs and shit from their hands, but the art style is kind of like Fortnite-ish.
Basically,
it looks like a battle royale or something.
Imagine like Naraka Blade Point.
I missed normal run. Hopefully, I can catch it next time. Yeah, we'll do one next. We'll do one after the reset too, for sure. This next week.
But swap the ninjas for wizards. Matt actually played it yesterday. He reported back that the game is really fun. Now, the problem is that a game like that needs to hit a certain critical mass to be financially stable and to kind of make the continued development make sense.
Right.
And sadly for them, it just didn't. So they know the genre, and they are all people very interested in MMOs who want to make MMOs. I think some murmurings that that's the sort of thing they actually want.
Well, this art style, one thing I will say about this studio that they're bringing on, you know, this art style and these animations, they kind of do fit in the World of Warcraft universe. So it looks like a good team to bring on, because they seem like they already understand the kind of aesthetic that World of Warcraft goes for, and they're capable of making games with that aesthetic. So that's pretty cool. I'm just happy to see that there's more people working on the game, because that means we're going to get more regular content at a more even pace.
Wanted to work towards anyway, but they know the genre. They have a lot of ammo experience in their team, and another nice perk is they're on the East Coast of the United States. Now, I know that quite a lot of work can happen remote, but what this does do is it opens up Blizzard to hiring East Coast talent for Warcraft. All right, not everyone wants to relocate to California, so...
You think they're looking for a patent attorney? I'm on the East Coast. Bring me on.
That's another great strength. And I guess also with Blizzard Albany, who used to be called Vicarious Visions, they've now got 2 studios on the East Coast. Now, the why for all of this is self-evident, but it is nice to at least hear it in their words. So, per Mike Ybarra, the president of Blizzard, they are putting players at the forefront of everything they do, and they are working hard to both meet and exceed their expectations. That's the quote from him. Then for John Haidt, who is the general manager of World of Warcraft, he noted that players' appetite for content was not being met by the sort of current output, that last year really shows them the need to increase the amount of content that they can create for the game. So that's all good stuff, good acknowledgements. A larger team, I mean, yeah, it sure will help eventually. And it's quite funny, compare World of Warcraft to Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, or just many other franchises out there, really big ones. I mean, if you want to look at a crazy thing, you know, MiHoYo, the people who make Genshin Impact, and they have some other projects in the works, I think they had like 1,500 people at Genshin, at least at one point. Now they've got like 4,000 staff.
Whoa.
Like Assassin's Creeds, those are like humongous efforts.
Jet, but good stream. Good luck on your vault today.
Basically,
yes, thank you, Bathe.
While the rest of the industry has been getting totally
good luck on your vault as well.
With Warcraft, they have kept it seemingly like a bit more trim, and more recently they've really felt the need to expand. So yeah, a bigger team will help. I'd also say, not to be too much of a dickhead, that making an expansion that is not riddled with very boring borrow power, that still takes a hell of a lot of balancing time and just systems.
We already know borrowed power is not going to happen in Dragonflight, so that's the good thing.
Probably would help too. And I know I meant that as a dig, but it actually seems like they're like not running into those problems for Dragonflight, so that's also kind of nice. Where we are left then is basically Dragonflight having an expanded team. This is apparently going to help them get the expansion over the line, but to be honest with you, I'd more expect the benefits here to come online for the patch content of this expansion, which is certainly good news. I mean, you might remember the good times of the first half of Mists of Pandaria, the first like 2/3 of Legion, but oh boy, the content's been slow, hasn't it?
I only got one.
So yeah.
I didn't play all week.
More people who can work on that patch content is great. The reason why I say the patch content is the sort of common wisdom anyway is it's really about 6 months for a new member of staff to truly get up to speed. And now also, Proletariat are expanding their team, as are Blizzard, overall meaning that World of Warcraft is actually getting more resources than ever. So, look, no doubt these investments should have been made long, long ago, but this is transparently a good thing that is happening for the game right now.
Yeah, a lot of good things happening for Dragonflight that I'm excited about. Omnikins mentions the professions. That looks like it's going to be a great thing, a nice revamp of professions in the game. Honestly, I don't play professions. I have jewel crafting in this game. I never fucking do it. I never do it. I just don't care about it. But maybe I will now that profession revamps are happening. And the biggest thing I think that they're bringing to Dragonflight is the talent system revamp. That's going to be really what beta and alpha is all about, is fine-tuning the talent trees and making sure that everything kind of makes sense, things are in the right places, because we're not getting borrowed power in this next expansion. We are just getting our new talent trees, and that's going to be the new way to play your tune, right? That's going to affect all of your player power, everything you do. So that, I think, bringing on all these new developers and stuff means that, okay, we're setting the foundation for Dragonflight. We want to build a strong foundation here. revamp professions. You know, bring us back to Azeroth. Give us a new talent, a new revamped talent system. These are all foundational pieces. And now you're going to have a larger team to be able to put out constant content on top of that foundation. So I think Dragonflight's looking promising, but I hope that that trust is not misplaced. Yeah, they need to make professions feel special again, like having jewel crafting only gems and such. Yes, I agree. Make professions feel special, and don't make you feel like you have to choose a profession because you chose a certain spec or class or anything. And they're doing that with that whole new creation system, right? Where you can like queue up, you get the mats and you queue it up for somebody to make it, and then somebody who has that profession can create the mat for you. That's can create the thing for you. That's pretty cool. I really like that system because it allows you don't have to know a jewel crafter to get a gem, right? You can just put it up for in the creation page, whatever the hell they're going to call it, and then a jewel crafter can come in, make it for you. That's pretty cool. Season 4. This is going to be a game changer for the stream.
But what about things to do in the game? Well, Season 4 starts August 2nd, bringing with it the fated version of Shadowlands Raids, the new Mythic Plus season that, well, it includes all 3 mega dungeons, 2 for each of them, and then 2 Warlords of Draenor dungeons.
This will be nice refreshing for Mythic Plus.
Gearing system that we covered in a video a few months back now. But look, it should be interesting, especially given that Dragonflight is targeted for later on this year. So this is going to be a pretty quick season. And it does mean that there's at least non-stop stuff to do
3 months, probably.
Now, that said, it's kind of remixed content, so I know it's not going to appeal to most people, but...
hey, but I'll take remixed content over no content. Give me the remixed raids, give me the remixed content. I love it. Because it's better than nothing for these next couple months.
Look, it does have a few really good game design experiments in it, and at least for the slice of
Fated rating, I think, is going to be a great addition.
Interested in that remixed content, it'll be something novel and fresh feeling for them to do. It also does mean that while the alpha, sort of beta hype cycles and Wrath Classic is going on, that there'll actually be something a little fresh in the live game. That's kind of rare. Okay, next, some more biz stuff. Blizzard sure are spinning up their marketing machine. There's a new landing page that's been made for new and returning players. It's called Adventure Calls, and I suppose it's just Blizzard trying to market the game more, trying something new. The landing page has got a brand new trailer that's like one of those ones filmed in a sort of a fantasy tavern set. It's kind of neat. It's also got a bunch of suggested new player guide videos, including the one that we did for the WoW channel, the Warcraft official channel, back in BFA.
Yeah.
So if they still linked that, I guess we're not on the blacklist. Awesome.
This is good because try to introduce somebody to World of Warcraft and see how they take it. There is nothing out there that that can prepare somebody for World of Warcraft right now, unless they have somebody hand-holding them through the process. WoW is a massive game with a lot of intricate parts to it, so having a nice intro page like this, I think, is a good idea. If you haven't seen the new trailer, you should. It's funny. Oh, really? No, I'll check it out. I have not seen it. We'll watch it after this.
There's also links to a new official Swedish Discord for Warcraft and a very interesting FAQ. So overall, look, this is good to see. There is more effort being put into new blood for the game. I would certainly say now is not the time to join World of Warcraft. You should do that if you're like, if you've somehow wandered on here and you don't play WoW. I mean, first, how the hell did that happen? But second, stop. Stop. Don't play the game right now. Play it when Dragonflight comes out, because when you level up with a new talent system, it will... the Prime Gaming Rewards for World of Warcraft, which I suppose is a new enough thing for us.
If you didn't claim your helm,
we're going to be getting the old in-game store helms that were removed a few years back and, placed in the Blizzard Archive, which of course is located right next to the Disney Vault. The first helm that we're getting is the Jewel of the Fire Lord, and you can actually claim that until July 26th, after which it will go back in the vault, back into the archive. And then the next helm will be claimed, and that helm will be the Hood of Hungering Darkness. That'll be running from July 27th to August 23rd, and then the final one is the Crown of Eternal Winter, which is available to claim from August 24th to September 20th.
Yeah, claim them, claim them.
There you go. don't really know if this will make anyone start playing WoW,
was so
but I
confused
guess
seeing
it's
that
a
Prime. I was
thing
like,
you can click
don't
on
I already
and you'll
have
get a
that?
helm.
Did you buy this? These were all part of these were the first in-game cosmetics that you could buy for a toon.
Now, some people are a bit disappointed because people, of course, originally purchased these on the store way back in the day. But, yeah, well,
Prime should get that free game time. That'd be nice.
But anyway,
knows,
look,
maybe
there
with
you
Game
go.
Pass you will.
I wonder, it's like if Blizzard added completely new rewards, then I think plenty of people would be a bit ticked off that they're not.
Silver Dragon, you don't have Prime? I feel like Prime is such a good value, man. I order so much shit off of Amazon. That's why I love Prime. And I use it for subs. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I don't even use Amazon. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. I mean, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying that blows my mind because of how much I use it. I can't imagine life without it. I didn't even know there were people that still didn't use Amazon. You're on Amazon right now, but yeah, so that's kind of true, Silver Dragon. Twitch is owned by Amazon, so it's true. We're listed under Mythic, Wings Flare, and I have it as item level 270. Maybe I should change this to 265 or something. Yeah, I'll drop it to 265. See if anyone else keeps up. But you're 277.
Right, so it is what it is. It's marketing. It's deal making.
It's,
and if you think that is it,
it's right here. Let me list it, delist it, and relist it.
For an Amazon property, well, just wait, because on Overwatch 2, they're doing a thing right now where if you for select streamers, gift 3 subs, you get a skin in the game. So, it's a great form of wealth redistribution from the corporation of Blizzard to, needy up-and-coming streamers like XQC. Okay, let's move on.
Like XQC, exactly.
We've got quite a few updates for
like
Dragonflight Alpha this week then, and this is pretty cool to hear. It does suggest that, public testing is probably imminent. First off, Wildlander 3 got updated from an old build to 10.0. That actually means we've got 2 WoW clients on Blizzard CDN that are running Dragonflight Alpha. Not that you can play them yet. That's not all, though, because the Dragonflight internal alpha client called WoWDev actually got a new 10.0 build this week. It's one that's actually slightly newer than the one that is over on WoWlander 3. Basically, well, we don't know 100%. It very much does seem that internal testing for Dragonflight is now well underway at Blizzard, with frequent updates happening on a near weekly basis. In addition, of course,
I'm telling you, the main thing they're
going
to have to test out is the talent trees.
That's
the thing they're going to have to flush out.
For us, in a word, soon. Genuinely soon.
I think this week. I
it's Wrath time. Thursday. Okay, we've got a new beta build. It's one that actually has a new invite wave that, I got into, so that's kind of nice. Now, this build actually brings us up to level 80, but it does bring with it 2 controversies. First, the Wrath Pass, and second, the quest tracking thing. Okay, so the build has contained a new character service info database entry called Wrath Pass. Yes, Wrath Classic is going to be getting its own version of the Dark Portal Pass. What a surprise.
Money.
It seems this one takes you to level 70, which is somewhat interesting. The previous one took you to level 58. And that's interesting because level 68 is actually when you can start Northrend. But there you go. What a surprise. Certainly this is kind of going to be a way for them to just, make some money off players who want the service, undercut the power leveling stuff, and make a pretty penny off all those botters.
You need to buy a new vault to hold all that Diablo Immortal money.
Okay, that said, this is a service that will not be available.
Well, maybe they'll use the Diablo Immortal money to pay the new Warcraft devs that they just bought. Yeah,
I believe,
let's maybe keep it.
Fresh
try to imagine positive things.
At least for 90 days, potentially more. So that is a good thing.
They certainly do have a lot of it now.
The other aspect of Wrath Classic and Business is, of course, any form of deluxe edition that'll probably have like mounts, toys, pets, that kind of thing. It's not announced, but it is extremely likely, given that there are yet more encrypted rewards on the current live build of World of Warcraft.
They'll do it.
I suppose one possibility could actually be the Nerubian Swarmer. That was actually part of the Shadowlands mount competition that they did with the community. Of course, we all got the Ancient in-game. The Spell Tome was then added for the Mage Tower. The Slime Saber is going to be Season 4 Fated Raids.
Yes, we are going to get this. We are going to get this. The Slime Saber is going to be so badass.
So I suppose they could use this thing for Wrath. Next then I've got quest tracking. Oh boy, right, look, we did a full deep dive into the impact the quest tracker had. More specifically, what the quest tracker era of quest design meant for the game, because it changed things. I actually think it's one of the best videos that we've done in a while, so be sure to check that out. It's the video on the channel that came out before this one. So, look, there's how we instantly feel about an issue, right? Gut reaction, fast thinking. I would just implore you to slow down, think from first principles, and just don't react, right? I just think that's important.
I've been waiting for raid
to get into the
queues
drama
for
side
long
of it
enough.
then. So back in April, the WoW Classic lead, Brian.
Yeah, I mean that's what basically what faded raiding is going to be raid keys, but it's not different for everyone. It's like one per week, and we're going to have to do it, and you know it'll have its affix, which is going to be just basically a harder version of the raid, and we'll go through it. Somewhere to put my 937 Paintsmith pulls, yeah.
And Birmingham stated in interviews that the quest tracker,
so
which was added in 3.3, will not be returning in Wrath Classic at all. Now, at the time, Brian said that they wanted players to be able to experience the game where they are reading the quest text, exploring the world, trying to discover where things are, sending them, just sending them across the world, and to have, quote, that kind of immersive experience of living throughout the world and exploring through the quest text. Look, it's pretty simple. If a quest is like blah, 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 do this, go over there, head west past the thing, then you'll be like, okay, I've got to work out where the thing is and head west. You'll be thinking about the world. That almost by default causes more immersion. The thing is, in a world where like it's all thoughtbot and add-ons, you don't do any of that thinking, which kind of does subtly change, but in a very significant way, how you actually process the experience of World of Warcraft. So they did not...
That's kind of true. There was something more magical about like having your level 8 human and you're in Westfall and it's telling you to go to the northeastern part of Westfall to help this farmer kill these wolves that are, destroying his crops, or destroying his, killing his sheep. Like that level of immersion was fun, right? Like that was how you explored the world back then. That was how you uncovered the map. Gradually the quests kind of forced you to go to those areas, and you had to figure out that you had to go to those areas, right? Like sometimes you'd say, oh, it needs me to go to the north. You'd open your map and realize you haven't discovered anything in the north yet, and you'd head up there and discover a whole new part of the zone. That disappeared when Quest Helper came out, and that it did kind of take away a little bit of the immersion. Now, did it make questing easier? Yeah, of course it did. And did everyone do it before it was an in-game part? Everyone had the add-on. Everybody had the add-on. If you didn't have the add-on, you were crazy. So can Blizzard really stop? I mean, I guess they can bring out Wrath of the Lich King and just tell people, hey, if you want Quest Helper, go download it. But this is just the way the game is now. That level of immersion is just gone. What are you going to do?
Not want full-blown quest tracking to be pushed into players' faces, that's a quote, by the default UI experience, saying instead that they wanted players to experience leveling in Wrath the same way that it was at the launch of Wrath. However, in a recent dev update on the matter, Blizzard said that they will in fact be adding quest tracking at some point to Wrath Classic, citing a change in design philosophy since April's interviews were actually conducted. So, why the sudden change in design philosophy then? That's the question. Yeah. Did the very loud masses online end up forcing their hand? Did they legitimately change their view? Does this change contradict the strict
do they still sell hardcover map books?
Classics sort of vanilla books policy that they outlined last week?
I don't know.
Who knows? Either way, I just want to...
I have no idea if they still sell those, but those were cool.
Leave you with something. It is something we really talk about properly at the end of yesterday, or the previous video on the channel. Think about Elden Ring and how its lack of quest tracking and that kind of thing led to tremendous immersion, tremendous success, and a lot of very hilariously, you think you do, but you don't, style Horizon Forbidden West developers being completely dunked on across the internet because they didn't seem to understand why streamlining cognition out of a game is bad. The internet.
The WoW Atlas.
And now time for a special insert recording, because just after I finished recording yesterday, 9.2.7, I believe, went onto the PTR, right? This is almost certainly the patch that will come out along with Season 4. And it's got 2 updates. I think, well, they're interesting. First, there's a new chat channel that is for the advertisement of basically trade services. So, boosts, right?
No way.
And
they
then
made
the
a
other
channel
thing
for boosts?
is they are making the commodities market on the auction house be regional, okay? So that means like selling a BOE, that's going to be on your realm's AH. But for commodities like, you know, cloth, or those are going to be region-wide.
Huh.
And I think interesting implications. On the topic of the boosting services thing, clearly Blizzard just want to have a bucket that all that shit can go into, right?
Yeah.
I think they want that. They don't like the trade channel being just completely polluted by advertising all the time.
That's what trade
maybe
channel
they
is
try to
now.
cut that down a little bit with their previous changes regarding boosting. That obviously didn't end up working that great in the fullness of time. So now they're trying something else. It's the kind of thing, they're not going to outright ban that, right? They're just not going to do that. But instead, what they want to try and do is make sure that it's contained, that it happens in its sort of dedicated place.
Right.
And that means that if you don't want to see all that spam, you should be able to just opt out of that chat channel or just not show it. And you won't have to see that stuff. Of course, there's the topic of enforcement. Will the regular trade channel still be full of advertising? I mean, probably, unless they actually do something there. So, a bit of an interesting one. And then for the auction house thing, I've certainly seen a lot of the gold makers are not particularly happy about this. There's a few different reasons. A lot of gold makers actually like to go on low to medium servers because the economies just get so like competitive and like.
I mean, surely it's going to affect the
cancel scamming
economies
and
of the
stuff in
servers.
big realms that it just kind of gets annoying for them. What this should mean for the average player, though, is more stable commodity pricing and availability with it just won't be possible for a single player to completely corner the market.
I'll be honest, like, I'm not a guy who's ever played the auction house. I'm not a guy who's ever really dealt with the auction house beyond the fact that maybe I have too much of something, so I sell it, or I need pots, you know, or other things for raid. I just don't deal with the auction house. I've never played it correctly. I know I could make money in it, but I just never had the patience to do it. So how these things are going to change the economies of the servers, I have no idea. And I honestly can't give you my opinion on whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if anyone in chat has an opinion on it, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. Sounds good to me.
Say all the ore of every server is
playing the auction house is too much work.
House,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
I mean,
that's how I see it. I'm like, I don't got time for that.
Market. So I guess that's what they're trying to do. This could be a relatively nice thing, actually, for the majority of players. Now, of course, a stabilizing of commodity prices, that will have an impact on all the things that come forth from those commodities. So it'll be interesting to see what that does to prices. Certainly, it's going to change up the kind of texture of the World of Warcraft economy in a way that I think is going to be decently tricky to predict. I'm certainly not the most well-equipped to do that. And also, I think it's of note that this is a change they're doing ahead of the profession revamp in the next expansion. So perhaps this is something that's been on their list for quite a while. And I believe this is from an older comment, but I think it's more possible for them to do this with a commodities market than it is for like specific items. I believe there was technical hurdles for that. So anyway, there was 2 unexpected and I think welcome for many players, though certainly not particularly welcome for a subsection of players. But there you go. That's up with those changes. I mean, for sure, like if you're advertising boosts all the time and you're no longer allowed to use the proper trade chat for that, then sure, your posts in the new boosting channel will get exposure to people who want boosts, but you might actually miss out on that kind of broader, broader spectrum of people who are just going to be looking at trade chat. Kind of interesting. We'll just have to see where it goes.
I wonder if they'll start banning people for posting in trade chat then. Right? If they create this channel that's just meant for boosting, and you post about boosting in trade, are you going to get banned? I'd assume you would.
Right, game stuff. Okay, more Mythic Nerfs are happening because they kind of want the cutting edge rates to be more similar to what they typically are. We are in the middle of creating a video that is a super deep dive kind of into the hardcore numbers of all of this.
To us. We need
so that
this.
by Dakar on our team, he has done some bloody incredible work on it. And suffice to say, the numbers are actually just bloody shocking. They are not good. I can totally see why Blizzard have been doing all of these nerfs, and it does raise a significant set of fascinating questions. I'd say almost about the impact that some aspects of maybe the Race to World First have kind of had, right? Because if Blizzard have got to balance for a team that have done 2 weeks of split runs, and I guess got all the legendary powers and stuff, the double Legos, then it's like, man, I don't know. Anyway, it's quite a thing. We're working the video. It'll come out in a bit.
I mean, like this raid goes down as one of the hardest ever. That's the truth. It goes down as one of the hardest ever when you look at completion rate. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're nerfing this. What I have been surprised about is the amount of nerfs Heroic has gotten, too. AOTC is certainly much easier to get now than it was before. And if you haven't gotten it yet, come back after reset tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start a Heroic full clear.
Okay, other in-game things then. There has been a bit of a controversy this week. I know, a surprising thing in the WoW community, regarding the announced Destro Warlock nerfs. Because on the one hand, this spec definitely needed to be nerfed. It had an insane amount of AoE pump in Mythic Plus, right? But the problem is that ship sailed months ago, when it should have been nerfed. Nothing was changed though, and only now, around 4 months into the tier, has Blizzard finally decided to do something about it. This is basically what happens when frequent class tuning does not occur throughout a patch. You end up with huge swaths of changes coming out of nowhere in a way that basically nobody expected, and that can be tricky when it comes into player investment, right? So thankfully, Blizzard have actually decided to delay these nerfs until Season 4. This is something that the community, at the very least, at the
Warlocks, be careful. They are coming for you.
high end, does mostly agree on.
It's ridiculous. You look at the DPS charts, Warlocks are just
it would have
right
disproportionately affected teams in the MDI, and also players who are progressing bosses or pushing the highest keys on live servers. And I think Blizzard basically just didn't want to do a rug pull on them.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Just hold off on
Blizzard
those nerfs until the next season.
To gradually tune Destro locks into a reasonable place over the course of this patch, I think it does make sense to delay them into Season 4 now.
Yeah.
It's just, if you let it run for so long, then that's the conditions, that's the rules of the game. You can't go changing them towards the very end. If you don't want Destro to be OP, then you've got to tune your shit early when it's a developing story. Now, there's also been a bunch of actual class tuning this week too, with some nice buffs to Guardian Druids, Vengeance Demon Hunters, and also to Affliction Warlocks, so that's pretty nice. Blizzard have said that they've noticed that both Guardian and Vengeance are falling behind the pack in terms.
Actually, I was grateful that they were letting them go. I appreciate the help, and Mythic Plus. There are so many bad players sometimes that can really just make you feel like you're banging your head against a wall. Yeah. Especially in Mythic Plus, where you cannot replace somebody, right? You get a bad group, you're done.
Particularly in single target situations. So basically the buffs are aiming to fix that while not unduly impacting AoE. They've also fixed a very frustrating bug that was causing Hunter's auto-shot to be cast when targeting Sepulchre bosses with the left mouse button after being rezzed.
What?
So yes, you've heard it here.
Random sequence of
Hunter
events.
pulls are always Blizzard's fault. Get that into your head, raid leaders. And of course, there's some more.
Noted.
Because after apparently many weeks of being top priority for the QA teams, now all of the Halandrous visual bugs have been resolved. And to mark the occasion, Blizzard have put together a lengthy blue post detailing their progress. Basically just explaining
I never
what
noticed
the
any of
were
these visual
and why
bugs.
it took them
What
so
were
long.
they?
And that's actually really awesome. It's really great to see, and it's interesting. I mean, if something like this has happened, yeah, it's a situation, but to actually get the peek behind the curtain, that's the special thing. That's cool. So the reason why is apparently because they found it extremely hard to replicate the bugs under the same conditions that they were being reported. However, within the last week, a sole engineer in the team was able to do what nobody else could: reliably reproduce the visual bugs.
What was the visual bugs?
They were stemming from the same cause. Basically, there was an unintentional visual occluder that was placed in the Halandrous play space because of a completely unrelated hotfix. Which just makes you wonder, what does this game look like in the back end?
Not being
Anyway,
able
this
to
made
see
it so
the
the players
buster.
could not see what was, of course, on the other side of the occluder. So, good job, occluder. You were doing your job. The main thing to learn here is that video games are built from spaghetti and sellotape. Now, on another positive note, through them fixing this issue, they've actually now cleaned up their hotfix processes
what a odd
and some
mechanic.
data stuff, and they say that this will mean that a similar issue won't happen again. So, great to see. And with the last of the in-game updates, that is in fact it for the World of Warcraft news. What a week it has been. So, in terms of things, if you'd like to support the team, there are 2 ways to do that. So, the things that our
What a week
game
indeed.
team do are, of course, The Pale Beyond, and, well, actually right now, D&D. Kind of jelly. They really sound like they're having fun. But here I am, recording the WoW news like a big nerd. So, they, of course, do the loot that is on Patreon.
Yes, thank you.
It's Monk Month. We got some kick-ass
There you
dragons.
go, patreon.com/Bellular if you want to support it.
Yeah, they're getting
I am
into that
same
world.
tabletop
There's
game
stuff
when.
going on. It's all pretty cool. But for right now,
I've actually never
we do have
played
some
D&D,
kick-ass
ever.
loot and other things that go on Patreon.
I've never
Also,
played
there's
it.
the video game that we are developing, The Pale Beyond. So if you'd like to check that out, you can check it out on Steam. It is a survival-themed narrative role-playing game. There you go. That's the genres.
Check it out.
It's always hard to lock in what a genre actually is for a game.
Check
because-
out Bellular's
so
game.
I don't want to, something else that we plan to be doing. So that's also kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to stop teasing you. You can wish this the game on
What,
Steam
there's
if you're
loot
interested.
involved and way
Of
more
course, over
drama
on Patreon,
sometimes.
there is,
Yeah,
more
I have
loot.
I've never played it. I've just never played it.